Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Seattle, Washington in 2024. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 pros and 3 cons of living in Seattle. So, listen, if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything there is about eating, sleeping, the good, the bad, working, playing in Seattle, Washington, subscribe below. Tap the bell for notifications so that you will be the first to know about the current market in Seattle, Washington. Now, my name is Sheila Duncan and I am a local realtor here in Seattle, and we get calls and emails every day from people just like you wanting help with making the move to Seattle, Washington, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email so that we could help you make the smooth move to Seattle, Washington. Now, as I stated before, in this video, I'm going to go over 3 cons and 3 pros of living in Seattle, Washington, and I'm going to go ahead and get started right now. So let's jump into it and just get started. So the number one reason I think most people love Seattle is because we are surrounded by incredible green space. Everything is just so green. I mean, the landscape is just so beautiful and so green. And it's just, if you like outdoorsy stuff, then this is the best place or one of the best places that you want to be. Seattle is surrounded by mountains, and the city tries to incorporate lots and lots of green space, not just in parks, but we have green space on rooftops. We have green space on the side of buildings that has really, really nice gardens. Okay, the second pro of living in Seattle, Washington is we have the best summers. Seattle summers are ideal for going outdoor, adventures outdoors. Just the weather is just perfect. You could not ask for better weather. Most of the time it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit. During the day, sometimes it gets hotter, and in the evening it's about 57 degrees Fahrenheit. In the evenings it gets a little bit, not cold, but it's not as hot in the evenings. Seattle has a long daylight, so it's great if you want to hike in the mountains, you want to go camping, you want to go kayaking, biking, whatever you want to do. The summers are just ideal, and we have very, very few bugs, because unlike Texas or Georgia or Arizona, where it's summer and you have lots of bugs, we don't really have that. It's very, very few. So once you go out, you go hiking, biking, kayaking, it's just perfect weather. It's not too hot, and it's very little humidity, so that is really, really a plus. And I love the long daylight in the summers, because it gets dark most of the time around 9:30, I would say, in the summertime. So that is really, really a plus. So if you if you love hiking, biking, camping, kayaking, or you just want to lay out on the beach, it's perfect. Summers are just, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, the third reason for moving to Seattle is Seattle has a very, very solid job market. Seattle now is the main hub for the tech companies on the West Coast. And so the tech companies here, we have a lot of tech companies, but the main ones are Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, which is now called Meta. They employ thousands of people, and the pay is very, very well. So if you get hired with one of the tech companies here, you will make a very, very good living, be very comfortable. The unemployment rate here is less than 3%, which says a lot. And it's just, it's just a great place to live. And like I said, the unemployment rate is about 3%, and they employ lots of people, and we are the hub. We have a lot of the tech companies, the huge tech companies are here in Seattle. And I didn't mention, our favorite coffee, but it's not really like a tech company, but they still pay very well too, which is Starbucks. So Starbucks is headquartered here in Seattle. Okay, now we're going to talk about the cons of living in Seattle, Washington. So I'm going to give you 3. And so the first con is we have wildfires here in Seattle. It's so dry, it doesn't rain as much as people think it does. And because the summers are so dry, the forests are very vulnerable to wildfires. And when we get those wildfires, it clogs up the air in Seattle and visibility is very limited. And so if you have like respiratory issues or anything like that, then I don't know if this is the place for you, because it seems like we get them like every summer someplace. And so the air is very cloudy. It doesn't last a long time. But again, if you have like respiratory issues or any kind of health issues when it comes to like breathing or anything like that, then that would be like a drawback of living in Seattle. Okay, the second one is our winters are very cloudy, gloomy, dark. It gets dark really quickly. It gets dark around 4:30. It's raining, but it's not like a hard rain. It's kind of like a drizzle, like a mist, but it's like all day. It's like cloudy, overcast. It's kind of depressing, but when you're here and you know that it's going to happen, then you just get used to it. It's not like a hard rain like some other places where it rains like really hard. And believe it or not, it doesn't rain as much as people think it does. But for the winter time, it's overcast. And so a lot of people who decide to move here, even just live here, period. But the people that decide to move to Seattle, they get what is called, we have a seasonal disorder is common here. It's called SAD, and that is the initials for the seasonal disorder here in Seattle. And what it is it's just like so gloomy. And so if you're not used to that, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But we have like SAD lamps, which brings in like the daylight. So when it's like really cloudy, overcast, dreary, rainy, dark, then you have like that lamp, which is called the SAD lamp, which brings in natural light to kind of pick up your mood a little bit. So I would say that is probably like a drawback. But like I said, once you get here and once you're used to it, then it's fine, because the summers, there's more pros than cons, but that is like one of the cons. Okay, the third con is we have the potential for earthquakes. And so Seattle is located on the front line, so that makes us subject to earthquakes. We haven't had one in a while. We have like tremors sometimes, but you don't really feel them. I think the last major earthquake we had was in 2001. And so, that's kind of like a downside of living in Seattle. Now, our famous mountain, Mount Rainier, I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but Mount Rainier is actually a volcano. And so if Mount Rainier for some reason awakes and it erupts, then the glaciers that are on top of the mountain, they will melt and they will flood Seattle. But our geologists are telling us, they're assuring us that that won't happen in our lifetime. But with nature, Mother Nature, you never know. But that's like, it's rare, but it does have the potential to happen. So I hope that you've learned a lot, and I hope that I was very informative. And like I said before, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, even see us on Zoom, so that we could help you make the smooth move to Seattle, Washington. And as always, I hope we see you around town.